something here that I haven't discovered yet. So I could use markers to kind of pinpoint it just in case I don't have an ability and I have to backtrack here once I'm able to explore it.
Yeah, don't sleep on those markers. Those can be really important in this labyrinthine world.
For sure.
Right.
But this looks curious.
It is really renewed sense of purpose in your backtracking paired with pushing forward.
Yeah, another thing I want to pinpoint is the amount of work the dev team put in Samus's animations. Like, just her animation of gripping the walls when she can't move, or like holding onto the ledge. It's just so
looking
smooth.
around.
Yeah, you'll notice little touches everywhere, so keep an eye out for them.
Oh.
And that seamless transition to these sort of story scenes is great.
Little moments like this, when you're in helmet view for a moment, really add to the isolation and the tone of this game.
Yeah, no, this game is a sequel to Metroid Fusion, but you can see that her suit looks a little bit different than that, so that'll be a story element that people will find out what happened when they play the game. We don't want to spoil too much.
Ahí sí, ahí sí. Es una secuela de Metroid Fusion,
These are
comentan.
the
Viene con el
Emmy
sistema de
that
counter y claro, viene este
Sakura-san
robot
was
que no podéis
talking about,
matarlo.
and none of Samus's weapons seem to
Se
do
puede hacer
anything
contra
against
los
them.
ataques.
So, run.
Yep. Oh, that slide move
Ya.
is so cool.
Tomaron
She
esto de
looks
nuevo,
so
que no lo podéis
cool
matar,
when
tenéis
she's
que
lighting.
arrancar.
Yep. It is. Nope.
Tengo
Okay.
que
no,
saber
just-
qué onda este
just
robot.
no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Missiles don't work either. Oh my gosh.
No sirven
So
los misiles.
about
Arranca,
this being
arranca,
called
arranca.
Dread. That would be why.
They're very relentless.
Oh my.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
No escala, no es tan
Did a
ágil
little
como Samus.
reach
Sí,
for
sí
me
escala.
there.
Yeah.
Tiene el brazo roto, sí.
That was new.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one's clearly not well, but it's still quite
Oye,
frightening.
pero
Yeah.
Zelda jugaba mucha
I'm glad
gente muy
that
feliz
it's a
en
bit
la...
damaged and can't completely reach to me, but we're gonna have
Esto
to
es lo que
find
yo
a
quería
different
ver.
way to tackle that enemy.
You know, this thing is
Qué
a
genial la
central
armadura,
unit
me
which
gustó mucho el diseño de la
controls
armadura.
various areas of the
Es que
planet.
obviamente tiene que ir
It's sort of a
cambiando.
biomechanical
Ah, miren, y toman
computer,
esa-
kind of an
esa
homage
parte
to maybe similar
y
units in
upgrade
previous
para
Metroid
el
games.
cañón.
And
Oye,
from this
bacán los
unit,
misiles.
Samus can power up, get a
Power
temporary
up.
power up
La
for
energía de
her
la
arm
unidad central
cannon, turn it
transformó
into the
el
Omega
cañón de
Cannon.
arma Omega Blaster.
Yeah. So, yeah, in typical 2D
Claro,
Metroid
este
fashion,
juego está
you've
hecho por
always seen
Mercury
the
Steam, se
camera
nota
panned
al
around
tiro.
here,
Y está
and
jugando la misma niña de la otra
now
vez.
with
Se
the
ve mayor.
Omega Cannon ability, there's this dynamic camera that you get
Ya,
to see
tomaron
over Samus's
muchas
shoulder, which
cosas
is
del
so
Samus
cool.
Returns, por ejemplo,
Yeah, little additions like that really flesh
el
out the
apuntar y
classic
que se
2D
te hace
gameplay
láser.
without it feeling like it strays too far from what we loved about it.
Just makes it seem really powerful.
Aprieta L para
Let's
entrar
see
en
if this
modo
works
de
against
apuntado.
our Emmy friend here.
Takes a little while to charge up,
Ya,
so
y le
It
voy.
does.
don't wait too long.
Okay.
Okay.
You did it.
Ahí lo mató, po.
I wanted to make sure I had it line
Yep.
of sight.
I hope you enjoyed that. That's your
Pero
one
deben
shot
haber
at
varios
it.
robots de esto, entonces.
Yeah, so it's so powerful that in order to take that Emmy down,
Pero me gustó
we
el...
lose the ability of the Omega Cannon, and it goes back to a regular arm cannon.
Ah,
worth
ya,
it, though. We
entonces
can
hay
be
que
easy
tomar
now.
energía
It was
para...
for
Es
a
un cañón
moment.
especial que hay que tomar para poder matar a esos robots. Tu cañón normal no lo puede matar. Y dura un disparo.
I also want to point
Dura
out while
un
you're
disparo.
scrolling your way through all of these different halls that there are so many different ways to play this game. Like Teresa is amazing with a missile. She's the queen of the missiles, but you can also just shoot
ver
your
ahí.
regular arm cannon.
está
You
escuchando
can
muy
try
fuerte.
and avoid enemies altogether, try and hit them all. Really, it's up to you what kind of Samus you want to be.
Yeah, and as
Y en el agua anda lento,
as
¿cierto? Sí, porque
Audrey
no tiene
pointed
el
out too
upgrade
earlier,
todavía
that
del...
you could use free aim to do more like line of sight shooting, but you
Qué
could
bueno
also
que te
just
mostraron. Esto me trae mucho
free aim
recuerdo
shoot
del,
while you're moving
del
as well.
E3 del 2017 que hay una... Ah, miren, el agua ahí va.
It's good because you need to shoot a lot of different
Oh,
things.
esto es lo que yo quería.
Yeah.
Edición especial del juego de
I wanna
Samus
see a
Returns. De
pixelated
este juego,
door,
perdón, del Metroid Dread.
and now I'm filled with
A ver. Edición
this
especial.
is
¿Qué
an
trae? Tarjeta de
entryway,
juego, Steelbook, libro de
Yeah, these are
ilustraciones,
the
tarjeta
entries to
ilustrada.
the
Ya, este
various
cae,
zones
cae,
that the
cae, más el
enemies are
amigo, pero cae
patrolling.
como sea.
And once
¿Irá a
you're
llegar
in
aquí?
there, you
No
need
lo
to
sé.
be on the lookout for those.
Metroid Dread. Claro, vamos a salvar la foto al tiro. Anunciado en
you can hear in the
Twitter.
background the music
Un
is
libro de
so
ilustraciones de
atmospheric.
190
It really
páginas.
puts you on pins and
Tarjetas
needles.
ilustradas.
It
Son
is
4
like
tarjetas. 1,
very-
2, 3, 4. Son
I
5
am
tarjetas.
completely honest.
¿Vieron el
Yeah.
Steelbook? No debe
Really
ser una
eerie.
edición tan carita. Po.
Can't seem to climb these yet.
Ni tan
Yeah.
exclusiva. Tan exclusiva.
Yeah, it's the detail in the background.
Los
I think is
amigos.
great. Oh, and there he is. There it is.
Especially during moments
El
like
amigo
this,
de
you can
Metroid
really
Dread, este pack
appreciate
con
how
Samus y el
cool it is to have an
EMMI
HD,
estarán
2D
disponibles el
Metroid
mismo
game.
día del juego. El 8 de octubre. Acaba de anunciar
tried that
Nintendo
already, so-
España.
Not gonna work.
Hey, it was worth a shot.
And
Just try again. Maybe it'll work on this
Otra
one.
vez, claro, ven, son varios robots. Son varios de estos.
So luckily, this Emmy can't go through typed spaces. So I have an advantage here.
Somehow Emmy doesn't seem
Oh,
worried.
Está muy bien.
Emmy doesn't seem
oh,
worried.
oh. Okay.
Oh, it's
Claro,
Now you're
como que-
following me.
Okay, you gotta get away from that. That's
No
my
sé cómo,
recommendation.
como que
Yeah,
se
when
me
they
hace
go into
familiar
this
ese diseño de
patrol mode,
Ah,
you
miren,
turn
¿se
red,
fijaron en el detalle que
the door
lo
locks
que he visto
until
que
they
Samus
sort of
nos
lose
hace
track of you.
pelotita, se barre,
It's still trying to get at her.
Oh, yeah,
se
it's
barre,
looking
para
around,
pasar
but-
por espacios bajos.
Ooh.
Try
Mega
find
Man.
another way to get to me.
O sea,
Yeah.
yo
Also,
espero
I don't
que no
know if
saquen
it's
la
my
Morph
heart
Ball,
throbbing
porque
from my
igual
hands or
es algo icónico
the
del
controller,
juego.
but it's pretty nerve-wracking when facing the
Y
enemy.
además,
They're
¿dónde?
terrifying
Miren la vegetación.
species.
Yeah,
Este
T makes
no
it
es
seem like she's
SR388,
calm, cool, collected, and
tiene que ser-
badass. I like to pretend
Son
that
las
she's
mismas
actually
niñas
as
que
nervous as I am when I
transmitieron
play
el
it,
año
but I don't think it's
2017.
true.
Do you want to point out, like, also the backgrounds, like the amount of detail that the
Jugando con el
the
control
development team
Pro-
has put
Pro
into,
es otra
like,
cosa.
not just the enemies in the forefront, but also in the background. I don't know if you guys can tell the
Es
shimmering
otra cosa.
thing in there.
Out
and
there, it's moving.
move.
Mhm, it's
Okay.
flashing.
That doesn't bode well.
Yeah, well, probably. Note that for the future.
Yeah, some of those details kind of tell the story as effectively as, a voiceover or anything.
Yeah, if you want to be a bounty hunter, you have to pay attention to details.
Mm-hmm.
And watch out for gooey enemies. This is more, but I love the detail of like the rib cage in the background. You just know something went down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing about Metroid enemies too is that some of them have patterns
ve muy
and
bien
you
el
can
juego.
counter them, and others don't, like this one. So I'm just gonna
Just blast him.
Se ve muy
move him
bien
out
el
of the
juego.
way so I can use it. And this room is a communication room with Adam. Who
Qué
happens
buena que
to
recuperaron
be,
a Adam. Bacán.
Samus's,
Es el control de comunicación con
ship's
Adam.
PC or computer.
¿Y cómo lo muestra
We're
Adam?
going to skip this part here just because we don't want to spoil any of the lore. But Dan, if you could summarize for the
Qué
folks at
bueno
home.
que recuperaron
Yeah,
a
so
Adam.
as
Sí,
Samus
tenía que
is
ser.
exploring, she
tenía que
uploads
ser algo
data
así.
to Adam, their ship's AI, and Adam kind of gives little analysis, just really hints though, not necessarily telling you where to go or anything like that. It's still up to you to kind of explore, but there's some interesting lore in there,
Sí.
and some little hints that you
Qué
can
maravilloso.
potentially use. And in that one, Adam was basically summarizing the Emmy and kind of the limits that they have of
Bueno, la
patrolling a
billetera va,
zone,
te- va,
and
va a
also how
tiritar.
dangerous they are, which we've
Miren, ahí
kind
está
of
el upgrade del
seen,
misil.
but hopefully we won't see too
Ahí
much
tiene que pegarle
firsthand here.
precisamente a esas partes.
Also, you can see
¿Qué-
T doing
qué-
a great job of just
qué
shooting
será
at
la-
the
la
environment,
historia
looking
de
for
esta como
secrets, looking for a
especie
way
de
forward,
plaga que
because
hay
it's not always going to be obvious. You really
en
have to. It's like a
ese-
puzzle. It's not just action. It's not just exploration. There's also a lot of puzzle elements here, trying to
Claro,
find
sabemos que
the way
Metroid tiene
forward.
mucho de puzzle.
Yeah, and it's really cool too how Metroid Dread does this really sweet balance of
Me gustó
you
cómo
know,
se ve el
the
gameplay del
moments where
Metroid.
you're allowed
Sí.
to have like some quiet to
El tema es que aquí
solve
van a
the
acercar a la
puzzles, and
saga
then
Metroid
it's
con
interspersed with
otra...
this really
O sea, a la gente
heavy,
que
intense
tiene
action.
Nintendo Switch que no ha
So
jugado
here's
nunca un
the
Metroid.
oh
Otra vez.
nope.
Lo que sí no he visto en el varios
that
otros
was,
enemigos, por ejemplo,
the
que muestran
Emmy,
puro
as
este robot
Dan had
que
mentioned,
te
they
va
have
persiguiendo todo el
kind
rato.
of three modes. One is the surveillance, the other is
Pero
which
yo
is
me doy por
marked with
pagado
blue.
con
They're
ver
just scanning
cómo
the
va a ser la
area.
mecánica del juego.
This red mode's
Yeah.
so
Bad
intense.
one.
I'm like
Yeah.
que retomaron un
playing a
poquito
game
esto
of
de
chase
Metroid
so
Future
fast.
with
del,
it. Oh.
del Psychics que te sigue
Um,
en ciertas partes del
And then
juego.
when it
Pero
has
aquí te
Samus
siguen a cada
on
rato estos robots.
eyesight, it turns red, which is the chase mode.
Oh, her.
Yeah. So yellow is it's heard a
Y tiene un
noise
radar,
or
¿cierto?
sense the
Amarillo, como que te
vibration.
pone un radar encima.
It's gonna go investigate that.
Y si te pilla,
Oh,
Oh gosh. No.
and
No.
Oh.
Oh.
y te mató al tiro, te pone un puro
the
láser.
Emmy are pretty relentless and
Cuando
ruthless.
primero encuentras,
It is sort of like a
¿cómo se
permadeath,
dice? An
which
exit
is
will be
very
automatically
unusual for you know,
Ah, no
enemies
alcancé a leer.
in the
Que
Metroid
algo
series.
que
But
pasa cuando te
luckily, it's
encuentras con
not
este enemigo,
very.
con los-
The game's pretty forgiving. It allows you to respawn at an area that you were in recently. So
Ya, igual
we're
que el Samus Returns,
able to
por
just
ejemplo, si
go
tú
back
pierdes en
and
alguna zona, te
counter
deja
that
cerquita de
again.
donde
Yeah, as Pete said,
perdiste.
insta-kill is
No es
new
como
to
el
the
clásico
series,
Metroid que
but
tú tienes que,
it's really great because it offers a chance for you to
tienes
have that challenging difficulty that I
que
think
darte la
Metroid
vuelta
fans
hasta el
expect,
save.
but without being quite so
Se ve
punishing
más
with the
futurista el traje de
respawning
Samus,
that
así
you
es.
just have to play the whole
Mucho más
game to get back
futurista.
to where you are. So it's a really wonderful balance.
Lo que me
Yeah.
extraña
And
ver es
when
el tema
the
del
Emmy
amor
are in
y
patrol
el tema
mode,
del
which is
barrido
that,
a lo Mega Man. ¿Ven? Barrido.
right now it's in pursuit of me.
Eso no
They're
sé si le
scanning
va a gustar
areas
mucho a
where
los
they
fans.
last sensed
La verdad es que a mí
movement,
sí me complica un poco
And
porque a mí me
so
gustaba el tema del
they'll
barrido,
go and
el tema del
investigate it.
Morphle.
and then
O
if
sea, que
they
hayan anexado
see
eso,
something
mata
in eyesight,
al
then
tiro
they'll go chase
el
it.
hacerte bolita. Po. Así que yo por lo menos, a mí no...
This is such a
Que es
small
como
but
jugar
really
Mega-
neat
parece un juego
touch.
Mega
The
Man,
way
po.
that Samus moves
Samus-
slower in the water.
yeah, and
Ya,
the audio
obviamente
change
no me
too.
puedo ver
I
tan rápido en el
absolutely
agua
love that
porque no tengo
detail.
actualización del traje.
There's always one little guy.
That one straggler there.
Pero esto es Mercury Steam. Se nota
I
al
don't
tiro
need to
que es
save.
Mercury
I'm feeling
Steam.
brave.
Claro, ahí está la vegetación que se supone. Ahí hay un tanque de energía, ¿será? ¿Cómo lo tomó la niña?
Nice dash meleeing.
Qué bueno que venga este
See, that
juego.
really shows how you don't have to
Bueno, la
to
gente quedó
stop to fight these
contenta con
enemies
la
if you really
transmisión
master that dash
del
melee.
Nintendo
You can
Direct hoy
just
día.
kind
Yo
of
debo
run and
decirlo
gun.
que quedamos muy contentos. Muy contentos. Yo, por lo menos, particularmente por este juego, porque han
The
pasado
water puzzle.
19
I really
años.
love the animation of the water
19
flowing
años
from one area
desde
to the next.
que
Such a cool detail.
no salió un juego nuevo de Metroid, continuando la historia, a eso me
water
refiero.
levels changed, you
Porque
have
salió
access
el
to
Samus
other
Returns
areas.
en 2017, pero ese es un remake del Metroid 2 de Game Boy Advance del año
And
90.
here is a map room.
Zona de
So
mapa.
interacting with these room will grant me more visibility to the area that I'm
El
currently
mapa.
in.
Mapa de la zona. Qué bien se ve.
So we sort
Y
of
qué
lightly
bien le
touched
viene
on
Artaria se llama
the
el lugar,
narrative of this
Artaria.
game, which occurs in the events post
Sí, este
Metroid
tiene el
Fusion.
mismo tema
And so that's
estilo
why
gráfico
Samus's looks
del
different.
Metroid Samus Returns. Esto
But
es Mercury Steam.
also to point out, back to Audrey's point about, the
Y
game
esta es
is
la
about
primera zona de la
exploration and
del
action.
juego,
so
pues,
this
6%.
area map upgrade allowed me to see more about the map, but you can see that there's still a lot of obscurity here, and so you need to explore in order to
Necesitas
uncover more
explorar
of the
harto
area,
porque el mapa te
and
muestra
also any
algo,
secrets involved. so.
pero no te muestra todo.
Yeah, it's also worth
Entonces,
noting
ahí
that
uno tiene que
this
empezar a
series and
explorar.
this game is full of really juicy lore. So, whether you're a new or returning Metroid fan, if you've never played a
Lo
Metroid
bueno
game
es que
before, it
yo
really gets you
sospechaba
up to
que
speed
obviamente
with
va a venir
anything
una
you
edición
need to know
especial
to
del juego
enjoy
y
the
que esa es
story.
la que
And
más
if
se
you
va a
are a
vender.
longtime Metroid fan,
Espero que
you
llegue a
have a
Chile.
lot to look forward to. As Sakamoto-san said, this concludes the story arc between Samus and the Metroids.
Porque por ejemplo
so,
la edición del Samus
we've been waiting
Returns
a long time
Special
for this,
Edition
and
sí
it
llegó,
delivers.
que es el juego, yo la
It's
tengo
that
ahí,
little
el
enemy
juego
that
junto con un
Teresa
CD
just blew up.
de música, de
It's
un
kinda like a
soundtrack,
item
como una
pinata.
selección de temas,
It's
que es bien bueno. Pero
Missiles.
este no va a traer
Yeah,
sound,
defeating
debería
enemies is
haberle agregado el
definitely a
soundtrack.
boon
Vienen,
because
sound,
it grants
viene,
you
unas
replenishment for
tarjetitas,
energy and
les
also
comento al tiro.
missiles. So
Vienen unas tarjetitas.
definitely want to defeat enemies for that. I
Viene
just didn't
un-
expect
viene con
the Emmy to be
steelbook,
right on top of
que,
me.
bueno, está de moda
Destroy
ahora el
the
tema de los
obstacles.
steelbooks,
That
así
little
que bien.
beeping
Libro
sound,
de
just I
ilustraciones,
hear
el
it in
libro
my
está muy
nightmares
bueno, de
now.
190 páginas y 5
They always come
tarjetitas
up with-
ilustradas.
It's
yeah.
persistent.
Son
Very
ilustraciones como estilo
Another
retro, yo creo que
interesting
van a
detail
mostrar de
about
cada
this
uno de
game
los
is
juegos,
normally
porque la
in
que se
Metroid
asoma es la
games
del
you start
primer
at the
Metroid.
surface of the planet
Con la
and you
portada
work your way
del primer
deeper.
Metroid de
But in this
Nintendo.
game, you actually start deep
Deben ser las
within the
portadas del
planet
juego.
and try and work your way to the surface. And so that that yearning towards ascension really adds to
miren,
the
hay
tone of
personajes.
this game as well.
Este juego ya está listo ya. Uy, se pasó por debajo del personaje.
Slide.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Y no tiene ni disparo cargado todavía, po.
I also love that you don't have
Ya,
to
misil.
necessarily wait for an enemy to attack in order to counter in this game. If
¿Cómo
you
le
keep
cambia
an
el
eye out, you
cañón
can actually
cuando va a disparar
sometimes
misiles,
counter before they start their attack.
Here's a throwback. So I have to use a missile in order to destroy
Ahí,
that cover,
obviamente,
and then I'm
misil y se
able
abre
to
la
access
puerta.
that door.
Just one missile. Though.
Counter.
That's good.
Qué bueno que conservaron el tema del counter del Metroid
Oh,
Samus Returns, porque eso no estaba en los juegos clásicos. Fue una mecánica que adaptaron.
There
como
you
una
go.
patada.
I got it.
Yeah. That's
Es
the
como
other thing
una
about
patada que
the
lanza.
dash
Pasa por
melee
debajo.
is
Está tuachoso.
if you use that on an enemy,
Qué
you will get,
buena.
I think,
Qué
a few
cosa.
more
Charge.
extra items.
Qué bueno el diseño de la estatua
Here's
chuzo.
our first upgrade, the charge
Ahí está el
beam.
upgrade, que es
So
el
very
charge beam,
iconic
el disparo
to
cargado.
the Metroid series.
Ah, qué bien.
So Samus, starts off
Ya, y que te
without
muestran cómo
any abilities and slowly
le hacía
becomes more
tanta falta
powerful and
un
able to
Metroid
tackle
propio a la Switch.
stronger
Bueno, se
foes, but
vendrían
also
dos con
be
el
able
Metroid
to
Prime 4.
uncover or
Que no te
explore
mostraron
new
nada.
areas that
Pero que sigan con la
we weren't
historia.
able to before.
Yeah,
Yo
and
me doy
suit
por
upgrades
pagado.
are another classic part of Metroid gameplay that is alive and well in this game.
Uy, ese enemigo cangrejo.
I also love you can see if you keep an eye on the
Counter, es como una
background and
patada.
stuff. There are all kind of
Después lo vamos a ver con
cool
cámara lenta.
statues and architecture that really
Claro.
piques your curiosity
Sí,
about
es como
the
una-
lore of this world.
Es como una patada. Que bueno, le da más movilidad al juego. O sea, ya quiero ver cómo van a ser estos speedruns.
I love that too, using the charge
estáis,
beam
Link?
to make the
¿Estáis contento?
charge
Sí,
beams
estáis
that
feliz tú con
attack
el-
and defeat some of those enemies is
Con el...
really
A ver
handy.
qué es eso. Energy Tank.
Oh, that feels good.
Con el E3, con
Some
el
more
Nintendo
life,
Direct.
which
Buenísimo.
is always a
Después yo
plus
quiero
for
ver los
me.
rankings. Seguramente
That-
varios canales de YouTube van a sacar rankings de los mejores E3. Yo diría que este está dentro de los mejores. O sea, si sacan el próximo año el Breath of the Wild 2, imagínate cómo va a ser ese Nintendo
those
Direct.
items.
Yeah, he's doing a great
que
job of
ojalá
showing
adelanten
that
el
once
Metroid Prime,
you really get to know
que
these
ojalá
abilities
adelanten
and
algo de Bayonetta
become
3,
adept at them, you
Va a ser
start to
tremendo. O sea,
feel like
pero yo quedé muy
Samus.
feliz.
At first you're like,
El Game & Watch
maybe
también
not
de
quite
Zelda me
there,
llamó
but
la
once you
atención
get the hang
mucho
of
más que el
it,
de Mario.
you
Está
really
mucho
start to
mejor.
feel like a badass bounty
Porque le
hunter.
agregaron los 3 juegos. Estoy feliz con el Zelda, ¿cierto? Que ya te mostraron un poquito más. Ya
Yeah,
sabes
it's
que va a
just so
estar en el
smooth. It's like
cielo.
she's parkouring through this.
Mhm.
Me tinca que a lo mejor puede ser un Hyrule como alterno. Por este tema como que se ve un pozo. Puede ser como un Zelda alterno. Por ahí yo me la
More
juego.
great architecture.
Pero
But we're not here to look at architecture. We're here to shoot
súper
things.
bien el tema del WarioWare,
explore.
del Advance Wars.
So
el
now we
Mario
can't go
Party
through
que
this
anunciaron por ahí,
area
no voy a bajar.
because of the water, so we're not able to slide. But we are able to access this door that we weren't.
Lo que no
to
me ha gustado
before.
del Metroid es que sacaron el tema del Morpho.
And here's another Emmy door. But in order to not spoil any more surprises here, we're gonna leave this as a cliffhanger and end our segment here.
Ya,
All right. Well, that's all we've
Si
got
avanzan un poco más va a
on
pasar
Metroid
algo.
Dread
No
for now.
quieren
Thanks,
tirarse
Teresa
spoilers.
and Audrey. Next up, we've got some Mario Party Superstars to show you. So stay tuned.
Van a mostrar también en este Treehouse. Oye, qué tremendo postre. Tener eso en la pieza. Maravilloso. Van a mostrar, vi el tráiler y lo analicé. Don Ariel, Osvaldo Araya. Fue mejor de lo que esperaba. Yo estoy feliz con varios títulos, ¿cierto? Mucha gente muy contenta. Vi el tráiler y lo analicé, dice el link. Bueno, dijeron que iban a mostrar ahora el Super Mario Party. Mario Party. Le tengo fe que este va a ser mejor que el 1. Sí, que el Breath of the Wild va a ser mucho mejor. Así que me he sentido muy contento, chiquillos, de verdad. Yo la verdad que estoy muy feliz por este Nintendo Direct. Muy bueno. Ya, por lo que estoy viendo con la edición del Metroid Dread, también Nintendo of America la anunció. Ya. Muchas gracias Nintendo. Yo creo Hay unos memes muy chistosos. Después los podemos comentar. Pero yo creo que a lo mejor la edición europea de Metroid puede traer alguna cosita más. Yo creo que por ahí va a ser. Modificaron el de parar los objetos en el Zelda Breath of the Wild. Sí, pues yo creo que ahí sí van a venir varios cambios. Por lo menos se ve que va a seguir el tema de la tabla Shaken. Va a seguir. Así que súper bien. Súper bien. Interesante. Estimados, voy a desconectarme un poquito. A ver si puedo volver más rato para seguir transmitiendo. Y ahí cambiarán a toda la gente, ¿cierto? Y volvemos para poder seguir transmitiendo, ¿ya? Como a las 2 me voy a volver a conectar. Me despido ahora, me voy volando porque me surgió un imprevisto, por desgracia. Por lo menos no fue en el Nintendo Direct. Menos mal. Nos vemos en un ratito más. Bye bye.